Welcome to episode 278 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton. As always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
It is Sunday. We record on Sundays. Mother's Day is always on Sundays. Record Day is always on Sundays, except for those few situations that arise where they're Fridays. For the most part, it's Sundays.
If you're in your car, if you're walking, if you're on the bus, and you're like, it's not even Mother's Day.
It is. When we're recording this, right now.
Yeah, it was Mother's Day.
We're in the present. We live in the present. So don't be that asshole. Be like, oh, fucking dum-dums.
Now, a lot of podcasts will pretend to be, and we've done it. It depends on our mood. We pretend that it is the day that you're listening.
Yes.
Which would be Monday. But then we couldn't shout out all the moms.
Right. And moms are super important, so.
None of us exist without them.
It's very true.
Yep. That's a cold, hard fact.
I'll agree with that statement.
Mm-hmm. So, happy Mom's Day to everyone listening. If you are listening and realize you didn't tell your mom Happy Mom's Day and you're a piece of shit,
do it now.
Reach out. Yeah, reach out.
Just a happy belated Mother's Day, which is always weird, but do it anyway.
A day late's always better than never.
And you'd be surprised what money can make up for.
Wow. Dan's tip for the day, buy your mom off. Seriously, though, call your mom. Call someone who's been like a mother to you. Call someone else's mother. Special day.
Call your best friend's mom.
Yeah, call everybody's mom. Run down the street, yell mom. The first person that shows up, thank them.
Okay.
You ever see that at like a Walmart or a Target when someone's like mom and like 32 mothers turn around?
Oh, yeah.
They're like, they know that it's not their child, but they're like, if there's a child in need.
Right. And I am a mother.
Right. But they all turn into like Batman when a kid needs something. Every one of them's like, who needs something? I got it.
Who needs my help? Hands on the hips.
Yeah. Hand sanitizer in one hand.
Tissues
baby
in
wipes
the other.
In the other. Yeah, I love that. Because if you hear a kid somewhere, it's like dad, you just see a bunch of guys scattering.
Yep, they run.
Right. Like roaches when you turn a light on in a room.
Yeah. I've met some moms that'll tell you that their first name is mom, their last name is mom. So.
Now, I used to have a friend growing up. I use the term friend loosely.
An acquaintance, a person you hung with?
There was a guy that lived close to me.
Okay. That's how it works when you're a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, your friends are directly related to your geographical location. So I had a friend that lived really right across the street. And his mom, this used to drive me crazy. But his mom would be like, he would sit there and go, Mom. And she would never even look at him or acknowledge him. And he would do it for like 3 minutes straight.
She would just ignore him?
Yes.
Moms learn that pretty quick too.
And in fairness, if you had met him, you might have also ignored him.
You kind of wish you would have?
Just acknowledge him so he'll stop.
Yeah, cuff him upside the head, something.
Right. Blow an eardrum out. That'll teach him. I mean, he would just do it. And it was like there was 3 kids there, and sometimes you would almost get like a mom.
Oh, it was like music.
Yeah, I'm like, I just can't do this. And she would just space out. Pretty sure she took a lot of pills.
Yeah.
And just stare at the TV.
She was just chilling on the Xanax. Yeah,
I think so. She worked full time. Also, I'm fairly confident the person I'm talking about doesn't listen to this podcast. So I'm going to put all of their childhood out here.
What an asshole.
She worked full time, 3 kids. And the father was like a mechanic of sorts.
Of sorts? What does that mean, of sorts?
I'm not sure what he worked on, but he was always very greasy.
Okay.
Greasy everywhere. He wore a shirt with his name on it, and he was always covered in oil and just like soot and black stuff.
That is probably a mechanic of sorts.
Yeah, and I know that he was some sort of mechanic. Because he was always, he built their go-kart, and he was always doing stuff like that, too.
Gotcha.
But he would leave for work at 7 a.m. and come back at he'd get home at 11 at night. just filthy dirty. Want to eat dinner, it's cold plate that's in the microwave, and just go to bed. So I will say that the mother of the family was probably very stressed because she was working full time and trying to do all of the home stuff.
Yeah. And that's not cool. That's
right. But yeah, that's anytime I hear, like, my eye starts to twitch when I hear, like, mom, mom, mom. Because I think back to those moments where I would be like, what do you need? I'm right here. I'll answer you because I can't handle this anymore. As a child the same age.
I never had any friends like that.
Yeah.
So, or acquaintances, or geographical partners, whatever you want to call them.
Now your friendships did work like that though, as when you were younger.
Oh yeah, it was directly. Well, yes and no. For the most part, it was directly related to who lived close to you. The problem is, I lived in a very rural area, so the closest person was still like 3 miles away.
Oh no. So I was in a neighborhood.
Yeah, I did not live in a neighborhood.
And the cool thing is when you're younger, you're like, oh, I play with this kid, and even if that kid's like not in your clique or group or whatever it is at school, no one cared because everyone gets it.
Right, everyone knows that. Hey,
he lives right next to you.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and it sucks that it's like this, but you weren't judged based off who you play with. Like later in life, if you hung out with somebody, you're judged.
Yeah, they're hanging out with that loser. Yeah.
Right, and which is also a shitty way to be if you're like that. Stop being like that. But as a kid, you're like, I hang out with these two guys, and everybody's like, oh yeah, don't they live by you? And you're like, yeah, they do.
It's all needs to be said.
Yeah, because you get it, because they're about to tell you about someone that they play with that you're like, oh really? Don't they live by you? And you do all the silly things that kids do.
Yeah,
kids are special because none of that stuff matters when you're little.
Yeah, and then they get to be in about 5th, 6th grade, and things change, and then
that separation starts.
Then they turn into asshole people.
You stop hanging out as much with them.
And honestly, I like to think back and think, no, I wasn't like that. I probably was, but I don't think I was to the extent that a lot of people were.
Oh, so even now, bullying has changed.
Oh, no doubt.
It's a 24/7 event, and if you are doing that, you should also stop that. Mm-hmm. But you know, there's that point in your life where it's okay to put a little more effort into like hanging out with the people you want to. Mm-hmm. And that's where those "he lives by me" relationships kind of
fall by the wayside.
Kind of start to go away because you're like, hey, my mom can come get you, or
right,
hey, my dad will pick you up on the way home. Like you start making plans.
Or you're old enough to ride bikes to each other's house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
it's
the beginning of making choices, making determinations for yourself. But you gotta be careful not to let other things fall by the wayside, because the tendency is that now that it's about you, now that you can make choices, it's all about you, and that is not how the world works either.
Right. This is all solid tips for 0 to 15-year-olds that we're giving right now.
Yes.
Which I know is a large demographic of this show.
I'm sure. I have no doubt.
But cherish 10-year-olds that are listening. 0 to 10 that are listening. Cherish those years of being able to play with anyone without judgment.
And if if you really want to get a good feel of what we're talking about, watch the movie Stand By Me. It's probably the greatest visual representation of what we're talking about ever.
I feel like at 6 years old, you're going to miss it, though.
Well, it's simple. It's simple. It was
You don't think they're going to miss the bigger picture?
At 6?
Yeah.
I don't think 6-year-olds are going to be watching Stand By Me.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think 6-year-olds are going to be getting our advice on this podcast.
That's who we're talking to right now. We're talking to all the 0 to 10-year-olds.
I think you wait till once. I think you're talking more 10, 13-year-olds. I think that's...
You've missed it at this point, though.
I think that's where those changes start happening. Because when you're 10, you're not allowed to ride your bike all over the place.
Yeah, I think 0 to 10... I don't know why I keep saying 0. Babies don't roam the streets.
Well, neither do 3-year-olds. So, yeah, you probably don't even start
That's
there.
when I hit the cold, hard streets, was about 2.5.
Yeah. The mean streets of
Leather
North
coat.
Clarksville or wherever.
Yeah. Even worse, Elkton, Kentucky.
Oh!
That's when I hit the mean streets. Got on my bike with a can crushed around the back tire so it sounded like a motorcycle.
Uh-huh.
Or at least I thought it did. If you hear that now, you're like, what is that racket?
That's noisy and
Yeah,
annoying.
it's tearing those tires up. As a kid, you're like, brr, brr.
Yeah, you've lost that innocence.
Yeah, everything is beautiful when you're 0 to 10.
Except for naps. Except for all the things you that adults make you do that you wanted to when you were growing up.
Yeah, I used to fight nap time. Now you're like, is there any way we could do a nap time or no?
Now you're fighting to get nap time.
Did you have those mats that they're like a trifold, but they were
Oh,
red
yeah.
on one side, blue on the other?
Yep.
Those were a staple of my youth.
Yep. Slept on those in the kindergarten.
Yeah, my dad. So they told everyone to write your kid's name on there. So you had your mat. My dad used this glow in the dark orange and standard glow in the dark green color to write my name, and I used to think I was the shit.
Because everyone else just had it like in a Sharpie or some shit.
Right. So when they would turn the lights out, mine glowed.
Yeah.
I was like, "Sup? I'm the guy with the cool dad.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me with the glowing nighttime pad. I'll just stay awake this whole time and stare at it." Oh man, this podcast is weird.
You got nostalgic there, and
In a weird way, like we just gave
way.
advice to kids.
yeah, who
children
probably
who
aren't
don't
even
listen.
listening to this.
100% don't listen.
Shouldn't probably, to be honest.
I'm going
Except
to
for that
say-
little bit.
Yeah. So
Turn
start
it off
over.
now.
Skip all the swear words and then just play them the part where we talk about how they should not be shitheads.
Right.
And
'Cause
stop
that-
before this moment too.
Because not being a shithead is solid advice for everyone.
Whoa!
What'd you do? What happened? What happened?
Dropped an iPad. I'm back.
Oh.
I'm not playing PUBG before anyone starts judging me. It's where the show notes are at.
Show notes. I have mine on my phone.
Yeah, I don't trust that technology.
Yeah.
No, it's just a bigger screen for me to read off of. So that's why I use the iPad. Just like it a little bit, like a little bigger, you know.
Fair enough.
It's been a busy week. A lot going on. I've played a lot of dumb stuff this week.
I played like 3-2 thing. 3. Are we counting IDARB?
Nope.
Okay.
No,
I played-
however,
I got in.
I will. Yeah, but I will play IDARB because I played what I think is a quarter of a match.
Well, I got to the...
But I played.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I played 2 things then.
So we tried to stream IDARB last night. Our plan was the 3 of us, Dan, Marshall 205, and myself would jump in, play some IDARB, some hot IDARB action.
None of us knew
Turns
what it
out-
was going in. We were going in cold.
Turns out it is a 4-player game, but only 2 consoles can connect. So you could have 2 people at each location for 4-player action, but for the hot, sweaty 4-player action we wanted, it was not going to work.
No, because we had 3 separate consoles and 3 separate areas. Now, if Howard would have come over to your house,
Right.
We could have
It was
done it.
a little late for that, but we could have made it work that way.
it was a little late for that.
So we tried to play IDARB, but it didn't happen.
It
And
did
I'm
not.
going to briefly run through some of these other things. So obviously I played a little Rocket League, had one of the best nights I've ever had.
Ooh, we were on fucking
Oh, man.
fire.
So
All of us
the-
were just clicking.
The night
All night.
before, I played with Thomas and Howard. We jumped on and we went 5-0, no losses. Feeling pretty good about life. Then the next night we jump on, we played like all night. First it was Marshall 205, myself. Then you got in, then you left, then Patman got in, and all night long, probably 25 matches, 20 matches, 3 losses.
Yep.
Absolutely destroying people.
I only lost once when I played with you guys, and I played like 9 or 10 games.
Yeah, so we lost once with you. We lost twice when Patman got in there. But we were just on fire.
We were all killing it. I mean, it was we were all
Spitting
pretty
fire.
we were all pretty close in stats afterwards. We were all pretty
Yeah.
close in our points. We were all just killing it.
So lights out for 2 days in a row. Then I'm like, clearly I play again, right? That's what happens.
You get your ass whooped.
Right? LeBron doesn't take a night off when he's stroking it like this. So yeah, we jump in the next night again. Howard and me jump in, get absolutely just pummeled for three straight, and I'm like, hey, let's stop. We got a good thing going for us. No need to ruin it tonight. And let's just stop and play something else. So we decide to jump over to Xbox, check out some Games Pass stuff. We played Powell Lacrosse, which if you've listened to the show for a long time, you know that I have discussed in the past. Mm-hmm. My longing to play Powell Lacrosse.
Uh-huh. I remember.
It is not very good.
I'm sure.
And also, if there was ever a thing that Howard played for the first time and was a straight pro at, it was Powell Lacrosse.
Are you kidding me?
So, look, it's like 4 or 5 minute, like 4 minute periods, quarters. I don't know how lacrosse works. And there's four. I assume it's a quarter. There's 4 of them. I don't know.
But that would be quarter, yeah.
Yeah, but they could call them periods. Like lacrosse is all fucked up. You have a stick and like a golf ball that you're slinging at 100 miles an hour.
It's not a golf ball, but okay.
And the net's really tiny. It's like the goalie net, but it's tall. It's shaped funny. There's stupid. There's this whole circle. I don't know. Anyways, he sleeps through the last 2 quarters, and I still lost. That's how good he was when he was awake. Because once he went to sleep, I guess he had the stick just pushed to the right. So every time he would get the ball, he would just immediately run out of bounds. And he still beat me.
And he
like
fell asleep.
4-8. Yeah, he slept the whole back 2 quarters and beat me 8-4.
Did you not wake him up?
No, I was trying to win.
Oh.
The only chance I had was him sleeping. It was like 2-8 when he went to sleep. I got 2 goals while he was out.
So he's like an autistic prodigy on
Dude, he was so good.
Powell Lacrosse, huh?
He was so good. And neither one of us had ever played before, so it's not as if he had a leg up.
Right.
Now I picked the Maryland's team.
The Terrapins? Are they the Terrapins?
Yeah, I don't know if it actually has team names or if it just says Maryland, but they are. It still has the turtle.
Okay.
He picked someone I never heard of. My goalie was garbage. His was great. But yeah, there was something he understood about that game that I did not.
He picked it up on a cellular level.
Yeah. It was not very good. It was sort of fun because it was bad. And because you don't know what's going on. And every now and then you would lay somebody out, which was kind of neat. But like if I was advising people on whether or not to go spend money on this, it would be, please don't. Unless you're just a huge, giant lacrosse fan. If you're the kind of guy who knows who Powell is,
you buy the game.
You're probably safe to buy it. If you're like me and you just like to say his name because he's got a fun sounding name, then you probably don't need to buy it.
Powell.
Powell Lacrosse. It's not great. Then we played. I played Fortnite this week.
Yes, you guys did. That's right.
Mm-hmm. I played Fortnite. Howard loves Fortnite. He plays Rocket League with me every night, pretty much.
So you played some Fortnite with him, and
I decided to be so I've been watching a lot of Ninja on YouTube play.
Well, if I remember, I just want to preface this by saying that if I remember, I was in the party with you guys, and I remember you at one point saying, "I remember why I hate this game."
Oh yeah. I only played it so that he could play the thing that he wanted to play.
Gotcha.
I've been watching a lot of Ninja on YouTube, which is a mistake. You watch the top level, and they're like, "Oh, all you gotta do is shoot people in the face."
I could do that.
Yeah. So, watching a lot of that, which does, it makes me want to be in that world a little more. Mm-hmm. And then he's always wanting to play it, and I always shit on that idea immediately. So I'm like, you know what? Let me play with him for a couple matches. And so Thomas actually got in that night. So it was the 3 of us.
Yep, I do remember that, I think.
Yeah, so
I think I was still on for that.
I can't remember. It was Thomas.
I think he came in right as I was getting ready. He came in right around midnight.
So we played not super successfully, but we played, and I felt good because Howard even said, like, you don't know how long I've been waiting to play Fortnite with friends again. So 2 thoughts were, I'm glad I can make this happen for you.
What was
Second
your other thought?
Don't get used to it.
Gotcha.
We're not gonna be able to do this a lot. But I had an okay time is how I would describe it. I wasn't miserable.
Well, that was probably more down to the fact that you were playing with friends than the game you were playing.
And I also kept making the statement, like, I'm going to do this until I can't anymore.
Right.
Because I don't want to ruin it for everyone else. I knew that there was a real line that I was going to cross at some point where I'm like, no more of this tonight. And so I played all the way up till that line and played one more game and got off.
And that's the thing that's important. And if I wouldn't have had to download it last night, I would have played it, which you'll get to in a second, I'm sure. But any game, even if it's a game you don't like, can always be at least some kind of small amount of fun when you're playing with friends.
I agree. I 100% agree with that. Because part of the way that we play games, and I would say especially the way I play games as of late, it's a very social thing.
Yes.
Like it's 50-50 games and just being social and hanging out.
Well, that's like even when I was, in the middle of the story of God of War, I was still getting in a party with you guys.
Yeah.
I would turn on subtitles so I didn't miss anything, and I would have it running through my headphones along with you guys, and I was still getting a part. So I've become much more social over the course of my playing time than I used to. It used to be if I was playing a single-player game, you guys were off the grid.
I'm like half frustrated if nobody's on to get in chat with. Like sometimes I get on and nobody else is on. I'm like, what the fuck? Who am I going to talk to while I play?
Yeah, it's gotten that way.
And so yeah, we played Fortnite. Like I said, I wasn't miserable. I played to the point where I needed to stop, and then I did. And then I think we went back to Rocket League that night. I picked up Dangerous Golf on the last sale. It was like $2, $3.
Mm-hmm. You've been playing that a little bit.
I like that game.
It looks like it.
If you need to just like, I love a game that doesn't require any thinking. That just needs me to get on. You could play Dangerous Golf for 10 minutes and turn it off and feel like you accomplished. And you could probably beat 3 levels in 10 minutes. Like that's the way it works. And you literally just hit a golf ball into a room that should not ever have a golf ball hit into it.
And knock over as much shit as you can.
And then, so it's by 3 fields, which are the remains of the original Burnout team from Criterion. It's basically like your Smash Breaker mode, whatever that was called. It's called Smash Breaker in this, but once you do the wreck, then you can so once you hit the ball, you get the Smash Breaker, and you can control the ball, and it does more damage when you're in Smash Breaker and you hit things.
Gotcha.
And the goal is just to tear everything up.
And get as many, I'm sure you get points for it.
Yeah, and get as many points as you can. There are things that, like, there's a kitchen level, you hit both microwaves, it's like a 5,000 point bonus for a signature smash.
So that's almost sounds similar to, what's that game that was on early PS4? Where you were a guy and you like
it's PS3 Pain.
Yes, that's it. Yes,
I love that game. I had countless hours in that game. Me and my dad played that game a lot.
Yes, it sounds similar to Pain, where you had to
sort of, but it's small scale with a golf ball. And then the cool thing with this is at the end of blowing everything up, you still have to make the putt.
Oh wow!
So depending on where you are, like you have to get pretty creative with the angles to get it in the hole. Because if you don't, you lose half your points.
Is it lenient on the putt?
I think so.
Okay.
It seems to be fairly lenient, especially like the more crazy you get with like a triple ricochet or something like that. You can't see the hole. It seems to go in more than not.
Gotcha. It kind of needs to be that way.
But it's fun in a thinkless kind of way, and I can appreciate a game that does that. I don't think it was worth whatever it was when it came out because I've held off buying it. I've wanted it for a while.
It was like $14.99.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth that. But if you can get this game sub $5, I think it's 100% worth it.
Fair enough.
So, played that. And then the last thing that I played is Super Mega Baseball 2. Games with Gold game. for this month. Played it a couple nights, but last night IDARB didn't work. I was pissed. I still wanted to stream something, so you didn't have it downloaded. You went to bed, and then me and Howard jumped on, and we streamed out Super Mega Baseball 2.
Yes.
A couple things to keep in mind here. Neither one of us really know anything about baseball and or enjoy baseball.
Who's that, you and I?
Yeah, and Howard.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about Howard, but you could
Howard's,
lump you right in there, yeah.
Howard's not a fan either?
No.
I kind of felt like he was giving me shit last night when I said I didn't like baseball.
I don't know. He doesn't know anything about baseball either.
Oh, he's like, well, you said you don't like basketball. No, I don't like that either.
No, I don't know. He's probably just messing with you because he doesn't care about baseball either.
How do you feel about football? I can get behind football.
So we jump into that last night. It is midnight when we start.
It was midnight because that's what time I went to bed.
So it's midnight when we start, and we stream till 1 a.m. So it gets a little loopy. I just want to warn everybody. Everyone's kind of tired. Before we started recording, so the thing about Howard, he has sleep apnea. He can't fake when he sleeps when we play. Because he snores, and then he wakes himself up.
It happened. I can't count on my hands how many times he's done it.
Hundreds of times. But because he doesn't have a CPAP on, he's not out for long.
You can hear. That's.
He does this, he'll go like that, and then also blue rabbits. And we're like, all right. I used to be like, what do you mean blue rabbits? Because I knew he was out, but I used to push it. Yeah. Now I've just learned to just go with it. So now when he wakes up and he's like, I hate walnuts and pancakes. I'm just like, yeah, over here. Like, I don't even acknowledge it anymore. But so before we start recording last night, he goes out for a second. He blacks out. And I'm like, hey, if you're not up for the stream, just tell me.
I don't want you to fall asleep on it.
Right, I don't want you to fall asleep on the stream. He's like, no, I'm good.
It doesn't make for good listening.
There were a few times where it got sketchy where I thought he was out while we were playing, but he's a trooper, and he pushed all the way through.
He bounced back.
We played till we got a win, spoiler alert, and it was kind of fun. It was silly. I got super loud at one point because I got jazzed up in that last game that we were playing. Sports games can do that in a way that like other games don't. Even if you're not a sports person, like we were getting beat down pretty hard, and then we had a moment in the last game where like we were making some stuff happen.
Yeah,
and it felt pretty good. So it was a lot of fun. Check that out on YouTube, youtube.com/GameStitch. But we're not done there.
No, we're not.
Last month we did one stream for you.
Yep.
Dan streamed one thing, kind of disappointing month. I didn't get any in. We hit the threshold.
We did. We've promised you one every month, and
right.
We've delivered on that.
But here it is. What's today?
The 13th.
13th, and we have done 2 streams.
That's correct.
I did Super Mega Baseball 2 with Howard, and then you streamed earlier in the week.
I did. I streamed, I believe it was Tuesday night. And I've been talking pretty consistently on here about God of War. So I thought, you know what? Why not give the listeners a look in case they're interested? There is a spoiler alert at the beginning. I will give you a spoiler alert of it now. But it is some of the end game stuff, some of the side quest type stuff. None of the story should be ruined for you, but it'll give you an idea of what it looks like. It'll give you an idea of some of the different locations. It'll give you an idea of the basic premise of how combat works and what the story is. A very basic premise, but there are some spoilers. So you're going to want to keep that in mind, but you can also find that on YouTube. It's about an hour long. I do a lot of talking. I try to talk about what's going on a little bit in the game, what I'm doing. Just general bullshittery.
And just to avoid any potential issues, I will title that God of War in-game.
Okay.
I'll put that in parentheses at the end of the title.
Gotcha.
Just in case. So no one email and or tweet and be like, you ruined God of War for me.
Yeah.
You just had 2 ways to not watch that video. He just told you, And I'm going to put it in the title, not even the description, because I can't trust you to read the description.
There's three ways.
I'm going to put it in the title.
There's 3 ways, because at the beginning of the stream, I tell you there may be some spoilers, and there is a spoiler alert.
No excuses, listeners.
If you get your email, you know what we're going to do? We're going to set it on fire.
Banned.
And I realize that means my phone is going to get burned up, but it's worth it to not have to read your bullshit email.
Banned from Twitter, banned from email if we get one from you complaining about you got something spoiled from God of War. Banned. Banned hammer. Done. Out. Gone. No more emails from you.
Ever.
Don't get life banned. It's not worth it. Not over this.
So, yeah, and God of War is really the big thing. I'm still into the endgame stuff.
Man, Papa Kratos got his hooks in you.
Ooh, he does. It's good stuff. It is. It is. It's... I like the combat, and I like that world. That world is interesting.
Right.
I'm not usually into this end game type of stuff with some different bosses and some different trials and stuff. But man, I'm hooked.
Whatever it takes to spend a little more time in that world, right?
Yeah, and I'm good with it. And I still like just floating around and looking for it. I feel like I want to platinum it, but I just don't know if I have that in me. But I feel like I want to.
I feel like for the time you have invested, there's no reason not to.
I still have a ways to go though on some of this stuff. That's the thing. But I'm staying in it, and I'm thinking you're probably going to see sometime in the next week. I think you're going to see a Beyond Two Souls playthrough. I don't know if I'm going to do that from the beginning or if I'm going to try it first before I stream it. I haven't decided that yet.
And since we're throwing out things that we're going to do, I'll just add to that workload a little bit. I picked up A Way Out.
You have
talked about it last week. It
Did
came
it
came in. So one caveat about A Way Out: we're going to attempt to play through this entire game together.
So, which means that the entirety of the game and the stream could take about 3.5 years.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. We're probably not going to do it live. It is much easier for us to control if we just record it and then upload those.
Okay. Yeah.
That makes life easier for us to do it. So I think it'd still be available on YouTube. I think it's not going to be live, and I think we're just going to call it Gamestitch Plays A Way Out, and we'll play start to finish. I don't know how many parts it'll be. I don't know how spread out it'll be. And we're 2 working men, you know.
We are. We got lots going on.
We got shit to do. We can't always just play some games.
Although that does sound like a great life.
You can't just jump on your little video game console all the time.
I would love to.
You know what I'm saying? I hate when people are like, "Oh, how do you have time to play games?"
I make time.
Right.
Because that's my stress reliever. You play softball every Wednesday. Shut the fuck up.
Right, just like you find time right now to be an asshole. I squeeze it in. Son of a bitch.
Fucker.
I hate that.
I know.
Leg sweep for that person. Anyone says that to you, leg sweep them.
You're on a leg sweep kick.
Yeah, first off, I like that you said leg sweep kick. Because it is a kick. So it's good. Low kick.
Yeah, it was a pun.
It's good. The reason I like a leg sweep is, 1, it's unexpected. 2, if it works, highly effective.
Yes, but if you don't have the skill, it's really tough to make it work. Like, I do not think I could effectively leg sweep anyone.
No one's ever said something smart to someone and then immediately expected to get a leg sweep.
No, they expect like a punch in the face.
Right, so if you connect with it, they're on their back.
Yeah, and they're down, and they're having trouble breathing. They
got
the wind knocked out of them.
Right, it's ground and pound time. Now you get on top, you mount them, front guard, I don't know what any of that means. But you start punching them in the face.
Yeah.
So, leg sweep it. Anyways, we played a bunch of shit this week. We're going to play Way Out. You're going to play Beyond.
Yep. Detroit's coming out.
I'm going to get some Detroit up there. I would like to see you also get some Detroit up there so we can see the differences.
The difference in how we played?
Yeah.
We would need to play the same mission then, I think.
I think that's fair. I think we could probably both play the first hour of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of see what happens.
I mean, if we were smart, honestly, but it's a good thing we're not. But if we were smart, we would both play the demo. and broadcast that, because that's set. But I don't really want to play the demo.
I'm just afraid of the demo.
I don't want to play it either.
It won't make me not. It's going to make me want to play the game more. I don't want to play the demo because I just want to go in like a newborn.
Well, yeah, and the thing is about the demo is a lot of it's not a mission you necessarily want to play again.
Right.
Is the problem with the demo.
There are some hard choices in the demo portion.
Yes.
My understanding. So we'll see. I would love to get some of Detroit up there. Also, Harvest Moon right around the corner.
But for you, yes. I'm not really
hard as a rock over that, so I will probably play Harvest Moon. In a perfect world, I will get that up. No promises with that one. Let's just leave it with a way out will definitely happen in some form.
Yep.
And at least one more game will be streamed this month.
Yeah, and I really do want to get beyond Two Souls, but I keep getting into fucking...
You got to get rolling if you're going to play that.
I know. Every time I turn it on,
You just boot up God of War without thinking. Just go right into it. You're like, how'd I get here?
Yeah.
Where are my pants?
A lot of times, I just go directly to rest mode, so as soon as I pop it on, there it is.
It wants me to play it more. Look.
It's right there. I got that little spinning circle underneath it, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
It wants me to play it.
I don't need no starting menu screen for me.
So sometimes when you wake it up and you click on your profile, it like loads you into the game. Like not even the cross-media bar, and you're like, I'll just play this.
Right, and it goes, bring.
Yeah.
It makes that bring noise.
You're like, I'll just play this. I love whatever this was. So, yeah. A lot of games played. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. If you're a mom, happy Mother's Day. If you're not, it's not any other day. It's Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. If you're not, happy Mother's Day.
Right. Each week we get together. We talk about all the nerdy news and things that we love. We hope that you listen. We wrap it up in a beautiful bow of bullshit each week for you. Put that bullshit bow on there. And we want to penetrate your ear holes for an hour and a half each week. And we appreciate you doing so. And if you love the way that we get in those ears, you can head over to patreon.com/GameStitch and toss us a couple quarters, nickels, dimes. We do take paper money also. Mm-hmm. But it's all done digitally, so we don't actually take any paper money. You hear that, government? You hear that? You hear that, tax man?
Mr. IRS.
Right. You son of a bitch. We don't take cash.
No, we don't. No,
but if you'd like to send cash, slide up in them DMs and we'll tell you how.
Uh-huh.
But we don't take cash. If you pick up what I'm putting down.
If you're picking up what I'm putting down.
There's a lot of winks going right now. We don't take cash. Patreon.com/GameStitch. If you can't support us over there, that's perfectly fine. Tell everyone you've ever seen in your entire life about us, and we will call it even. We'll call it square. The more people that listen, the more bigger and better things that we can do.
It's true.
Enough of the housekeeping. Well, no, one more housekeeping thing. Schedule's finally live.
Boom.
For Comic-Con, for FC3. And you can head over there and actually see the times, the dates, everything. We look professional because we're actually listed. They didn't forget about us. So,
which is nice.
Yeah, it's nice to not be forgotten. So check that out. For more information, hit Dan up on Twitter at ShirtlessDan, or just go to fc3.com and look at all that gloriousness.
That's fc3rock.com.
fc3rock.com,
and you can look up everything. You see the guests, see the hours. They are having a pre-party that you can buy a ticket for on Friday night. So they've got a lot going on. They're consistently growing every year. So kind of a big deal, and it kind of grants us a little bit of professionalism by being a part of it. We don't want to go too off the rails with that, but
I'm sure we'll do something. Well, I'm sure we'll screw up enough we can reel that right back in.
I have no doubt.
It's a good thing about us. We're a pillar of consistency.
Yes.
Let's roll right into the news, and I want to pick up with a story that we left off on last week. Not we left off on, but we spoke about it last week. the FTC dropping the hammer on Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, and other companies.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to focus on those because they're what we care about. So we got all this free time to play games on. Somebody said that to me this week, so I'm feeling some sort of way about it.
Really?
Somebody's like, how do you have time to do all that? Well, you know what? I stay up till 2 in the morning. I work on limited sleep all the time.
Right.
Like, I make sacrifices, okay? Get off my balls.
That's right. Don't you fucking worry about it.
Right.
None of your goddamn business.
That's what I want to say. And leg sweep. Nintendo and Sony got in front of this. They've already made changes, which is shocking. Especially Nintendo. I thought Nintendo would have to plan, figure out another shitty way to do it. It'd be a whole process.
Yeah, no, they just came out and said, here we go.
So both companies have issued new warranty guidelines that now say your warranty is only voided if damage is caused by third-party products or services.
Yes.
Sony has also removed the language that indicated that if you broke the seal, your warranty would be voided.
Not to be confused with breaking the seal, meaning that you are not going to pee every time you drink an alcoholic beverage.
Or to be confused with it.
It could be confused for it, but it is not to be, because they are two different things.
But if you pee, you don't void the warranty either.
But if you pee on it, you...
Warranty voided.
Yes.
That's called a third-party upgrade, I guess.
I don't know if I don't think upgrade's the right word.
Yeah, like so if you
pee on it, it's upgraded.
It's not upgraded. You've added something to it.
Yeah, but an upgrade usually changes it in some way. The only change you've made is now it doesn't work.
All they've done is clean up the language a little bit, in that if you open it, look inside, put it back together, your warranty is not voided.
No.
If you put a hard drive in and everything is fine, and then your USB port stops working, you didn't void it.
No. If you opened it up and stuck a knife in the hard drive and then tried to say that there's a problem with your hard drive, you voided it.
Yeah.
Which was that's pretty standard.
If you open it up and you put spaghetti and meatballs inside there and then seal it back together and then send it to Sony, they're not going to fix that for free. If it's got Chef Boyardee in it, they're not going to repair that. So use your skull here.
Yeah. The burden is still on you to use a little bit of common sense. I know that sometimes that can be hard from what I've seen in my travels throughout the world. But we can do it. I have faith in you, the listeners.
So, slippery slope putting faith in them.
I don't think so. They put faith in us. I think they're on the much more slippery slope.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they know this or not, but we're doing a panel, so we're pretty legit. We can pretty much be trusted.
Well, let's wait till after the panel to talk about it.
I might not be able to say it after the panel, though. I can say it before. We haven't screwed it up yet. Microsoft has not complied yet, but remember they have 30 days to do so. And if I'm Microsoft, I take 29 days and 12 hours to do this. Mm-hmm. Fuck them, you know?
Maybe Microsoft just doesn't give a shit. Maybe
what if they just don't even do it at all and Xbox get yanked off the shelf and they're like, whatever. No one's buying them anyway.
No one's buying them anyway.
We don't have any games coming out for it either way.
Yeah, there was. I think there was some. Actually, to add to the news this week, I think there was some news about. I don't think you put it on here. No, that EA accidentally released the Microsoft's console sales numbers in a meeting with the stockholders. And it was like 3-1.
Yeah, it's not great. But I think everyone, while you don't necessarily know the numbers, I think everyone feels that. You can tell by the moves that Microsoft is making.
Yeah, but once you get the numbers, it does kind of put things in perspective.
It does a little bit. And it's not helped that the Switch is on fire.
No.
I mean, it's absolutely on fire. That thing is selling like hotcakes. The PS4 has somehow not slowed down. At this point, it will have surpassed the PS3 already. Yeah. It's absolutely insane. It's the greatest time to be playing video games right now.
This Switch is on fire.
That'll be the new ad. It'll be Mario singing it, though.
It's a me, Mario. The Switch is on fire.
Right, he'll say it just like that. He'll be shirtless, but also nippleless.
Shaved his mustache.
Whoa. It's new fresh Mario.
He's got his hat on backwards.
Yeah.
Tattoo.
It's eHarmony Mario.
Mm-hmm. Maybe some gauges in his ears.
Whoa, no. That's Hot Topic Mario. If there's a place where you can be unhappy, it's Walmart.
Uh-huh.
If there are two places you could be unhappy, it is Walmart and Canada. Those two have teamed up to maybe ruin E3 for a bunch of companies. Canadian Walmart, that's all I know them by. That's what I'm going to refer to them as. They have leaked a list of games that appear to be set to start taking pre-orders at or around E3.
Yes, but they released it maybe just a touch early.
Maybe like a month early.
Maybe.
And the list is a mixture of games that we already knew about and games that we did not know about. And at least in some cases, you're led to believe that these things may be sooner rather than later, which is why Walmart's working off of some sort of master list.
Right.
And it's surprising that this doesn't... I guess it's surprising that this still happens, but also surprising it doesn't happen more.
Doesn't happen more.
Like, I'm shocked that this still happens. Like, how hard is it to not publish something before you're supposed to? But then I'm also like, how does it not happen more with as many moving parts or as involved?
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
So I'm going to quickly run through the games that Canada Walmart.
Are you going through all of them?
Yeah, it'll take a second.
It'll take a little more. Yeah, it's going to take more than a second.
Worth note, these were all listed at $79.97. Canadian, which is normal priced here. But they're insane up there. Like I said, two things you don't like: Canada and Walmart.
They're not insane. That's $79.99.
Yeah, they're monopoly money.
It's
no good.
It's colorful. It's pretty.
Switch over to the U.S. dollar. Okay?
It costs just as much as it does here.
The Division 2, Splinter Cell. That's one that we knew about but didn't know about.
Mm-hmm. That's
called a leak.
Yeah.
Canada Walmart took a leak on Ubisoft.
Not on the PS4 to avoid the warranty.
Right.
Breaking the seal,
break the seal, right. The Division 2, Splinter Cell, Insurgency Sandstorm, which I think is a PC game that is making its way over. The Last of Us 2, Just Cause 4, also one we didn't know about.
Yep.
WWE 2K19, Assassin's Creed Origins Ace Helix. Don't know what that means. Dragon Quest 2, Far Cry 5, XXL Silver Bars add-on, which I assume is money.
Yes, it is.
Destiny Comet, which I'm sure is a working title for some sort of expansion they have on the way. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Metroid Prime for Switch, NBA 2K19, Super Smash Bros., Borderlands 3, which we knew but maybe didn't know. Something called Assassin's Creed. So I guess there's potential they show off a new Assassin's Creed. Lego DC Villains, which sounds fun. Beyond Good and Evil 2, which we had seen. Rage 2, which was super unexpected to me.
Yeah, no one saw that coming.
Didn't think that game sold well enough to warrant a second, but maybe. Dreams. Been waiting for that for a hot minute. Grand Theft Auto 5 Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack, Starter Kit, which we talked about. It comes with the game and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Forza Horizon 5, which I don't think is correct. I think they're on 4. Gears of War 5. Shantae Half Genie Hero. Shantae. I don't know. Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy combo pack. So those were the leaks.
I'll tell you what I like though.
Canada Walmart.
No, not Canada Walmart. I don't like them. But what I like is that Bethesda just kind of just kind of leaned into this. They just kind of rolled with it.
So there's nothing you can do at this point, but not all companies handled themselves as gracefully as Bethesda did with this.
No.
And what I think is a genius move. They took the posting and they made changes to it and sent it out, or corrections, I should say.
Yes.
So they indicated, these all had placeholder images. They indicated that this is the incorrect key art, the wrong font, and it's not all caps. And they also ended that with a smiley, frowny face. It is missing the age rating. And then they drew an anarchy sign over the product description area.
Yes, they did.
On the official Bethesda Twitter account, which is genius.
Mm-hmm. They also chimed in. Pete Hines, the Bethesda marketing boss, he chipped in with the one that said, "This is why we can't have nice things."
Yep.
So Bethesda just kind of going with it and just rolling with the punches and leaning right into it.
Right. When it first happened, Bethesda's Twitter account tweeted out, "Dude," which is also a good way to start the conversation.
And by the way that is meant to be said is, "Dude."
Yeah. Why would you do that? That's what they're saying without saying. Right
what
there.
is wrong with you?
Yeah. But it's okay. Like, it's okay that this happened.
Yeah.
And this is the right way to handle it. There's people spitting fire online about this. And I'm like,
yeah.
It's okay. Why do you need to be surprised anyways? Like, can't you just love the stuff you're going to see? Do you have to be surprised? You'll still be surprised. Something will still happen.
Surprises.
Yeah.
Just because you know it's coming doesn't mean you know anything about it.
Right.
You haven't seen it. You don't know what the story is. You don't know anything about it.
It doesn't even mean that these games are all going to be there. It just means that Walmart's going to start taking pre-orders on them. Mm-hmm. And it's safe to say you knew there was going to be another Gears of War. Mm-hmm. You knew there'd be another Assassin's Creed. You knew at some point there'd be another Splinter Cell. Maybe Rage is a surprise. But you weren't going to be like, oh, yeah, freaking Rage.
No. Well, maybe you, that one guy. But
yeah, the further we get away from Rage, the more people shit on it. So I know you're not excited about it.
I am not. I played Rage, and I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, and the further people get away from it, the more they seem to dislike that
Dislike it, yes.
Like, it hasn't grown, like...
It hasn't gotten better with age. It's not a fine wine.
Right, the love hasn't grown stronger with time away.
No.
So.
Absence does not make the heart grow fonder. Absence, in this case, makes the heart go yonder.
Is that a thing people say?
No, I just made that up.
The one of those I always remember is the snake. Red on black, venom black. Red on yellow, kill a fellow. I remember that from biology class. I've never seen that pattern on a snake either way.
Right.
But if I do, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go the other way.
I don't care
right.
what snake it is. I'm going the other way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's a baby garter snake. I'm out.
Yeah, not a snake fan. I don't have a problem with them, but you're not a fan.
I'm not a fan. I am the furthest thing from a fan. Let me tell you something. They cause the downfall of man. All right? They're the devil. It's in the Bible.
Read a book, folks. Sony also getting in front of their E3 by kind of dropping a little knowledge on everybody. They say there will be no new hardware, so stop talking about the PS5.
Yeah, this PS5 thing has been going on for about 3 weeks now, and it's getting a little out of hand. Sony said, you know what? Shut your mouths.
They're crushing it so hard right now, they don't need to show you shit.
Yep.
Their E3 is primarily going to focus on 4 games. What are those 4 games?
Tell us.
Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, and The Last of Us 2. Excuse me, The Last of Us Part 2. Let me be correct here. Those are the 4 games they're going to focus on. Beyond these titles, there will be announcements with third-party publishing partners, and games from indie developers will also be given some spotlight time. Death Stranding will be a new report about what is happening around the title. So don't get your tits in a tussle here. That game's still not even close.
No.
Not this year, probably not next year.
Maybe. Best case scenario, probably November of next year. And that's best case.
Ghost of Tsushima will have a deep dive is what Sean Layden called it. This game is getting close, probably.
Mm-hmm.
This game probably going to be excellent. Spider-Man will be a new drop, which is likely to be a new trailer. Yeah, that game is obviously, we know, getting close. The Last of Us Part 2 will get a full new scope and treatment to show progress on the game and give people a better understanding of what we're going with for Part 2. Whatever that means.
So again, it's probably slated for middle to end of next year. Quarter 3 or 4, I would imagine.
Now, I see people online who are like, no Days Gone? No Dreams? Sony fucking up? Look, the other stuff will be there. These are the focus. This is where they're going to spend most of their time.
And if you're into Days Gone, there was just a 45-minute playthrough.
Boy, howdy, that game does not look great to me.
No. Did you watch it?
Some of it.
I couldn't get through it all.
I couldn't either. That game does not look okay.
Just because it doesn't look great. It's not holding my attention.
The storytelling is bland. It's safe. It doesn't look particularly fun, which is a giant problem for a video game with me.
Yep.
I'm super worried about that game. I super question why they put that out.
Yeah, I don't know.
They also said that is in alpha.
And this game's been being produced for...
Yeah.
If that's an alpha, sorry,
It's taken too long already. This is probably the end of Sony Bend after this game.
Yeah, you have got to put up or shut up, and
it's just been too long.
I think it's time for them to shut up. I agree. It's been way too long.
A lot of people saying this game looks bad and that Dreams is in the same state. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and make a prediction about Dreams. Dreams will be excellent. It will appeal to almost no one.
Yeah, it's going to appeal to like you and 10 other people.
Days Gone will appeal to a lot of people, but probably not be good.
Right.
Which of those would you rather have? I don't know, but I know that you'd much rather have both of those take half the time.
I'll just leave my hands off both of them.
Yeah. These games should already be out. Dreams relies on technology that without PSVR is totally dead. PSVR is the best thing that ever happened to Dreams because there were no Move controllers in the wild.
Right.
Now, here's the only thing that might save Dreams. Is if this game has disappeared because they have totally went back and made this a VR game. You can create, you can play, you can do everything in VR or out of it. But in VR, the ability to sculpt in 360 there, real time, that will help save them a little. And if you have VR, you already have Move controllers. So there is some built-in appeal there. But that's the only hope that game has to get any kind of install base. It also, I think it needs to not come out at $60, which is impossible because they've been working on it for 6 years. I think you get Dreams out at $39 and you say, thanks for being patient. Also, we shut down Media Molecule, which sucks. And I don't know that you don't do the same thing with Days Gone. I don't know that you don't cut your losses and make that game cheaper.
It's just been too long at this point. You've got to do something. When it finally does come out, it's not going to go in hands unless it's priced right, and $60 is not going to be priced right.
Now you've heard, Last of Us and Uncharted. You've heard Neil Druckmann say, and games come together in the last 6 months. You hear that a lot from people. I think Crystal Dynamics talked about it with the reboot of Tomb Raider. Like the games come together at the end. This game it's not anywhere near that.
It doesn't have 6 months in sight.
Right. It's there are some fundamental problems with that game in the little bit that I watched that aren't 6 months away from being corrected.
Right.
I'm not saying to dismiss this game, forget it ever existed, but I don't know why they showed us. I don't know why they showed us that. I don't know what the point of that was.
I would say keep your expectations tempered on Days Gone.
Yeah, because its best days might be gone.
Oh.
How many times do you think that article's been written? Oh. Days Gone, best days gone? Question mark? There's at least 100 of those out there already.
Is Days Gone, Days Gone?
Or I would just put Days Gone, question mark? Maybe. Time will tell. So yeah, that's a little E3. Now I've tried to avoid a lot of E3 stuff. I felt like we had to talk about the games that were kind of teased, and I felt like Sony finally coming out and saying, look, no PS5, calm down.
That's a big deal.
We will get into the E3 stuff. Don't panic.
But not till Elite 3.
We'll do the prediction show like always.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have some coverage after the fact. It'll be fine. You'll be all right. It's going to be okay. Just don't panic. Breathe. We're not there yet.
Every little thing's going to be all right.
Yeah. How can we talk about Fortnite every week if we're covering E3?
Right.
So you guys got to wait. Just got to hold on. You all right?
Nah, I just broke my wrist.
Fortnite and you got excited.
I just broke my wrist. Can I hear that?
Yeah, I heard it, but I didn't know what it happened. It happened off camera.
Yeah, it did. It hurt. I'm okay.
So the beauty of Games Pass are these stack of games you can play anytime you want.
Mm-hmm. But they come and go at the whim of Microsoft.
It's like Netflix.
Yeah.
They wave their content wand at it, and some stuff pops up and other stuff goes away.
Which, from a certain point of view, kind of makes sense.
It does. And I guess, here's the thing. This whole time I'm thinking about Games Pass. We talked about the new games coming. I never thought about the games leaving.
Right. Ooh. My dog's freaking out.
There's a thing happening at your house.
Something's happening.
So.
Oh, no. She's a special guest star.
Is there an intruder?
I don't know.
Is there
I won't know until they come in the door and stab me.
B&E happening right now? Okay. I'll give everybody a heads up if you're about to be murdered. Also, it probably won't come out until after we get the evidence back.
Right. That's probably true.
But we need to say goodbye to some games that are going away because we said hello to some new ones that are coming this month. We need to say goodbye to the ones that are leaving. I will start by saying there are only 2 Xbox One games leaving. The rest are all 360 games. It seems like not a huge deal, but I did want to run through the list of 21 games that are leaving Games Pass.
Because you love your list.
I do.
Once
it's
again.
hard pressed to find one for this week, but
we've had one the last 3 weeks now.
I pulled through.
So why should this week be any different? Go ahead.
I'll run through these Xbox One and let you tackle the 360 games. We're losing Blood Bowl 2 and Defense Grid 2 on Xbox One.
On the Xbox 360, we're losing Age of Booty, Sega Vintage Collection, Alex Kidd & Co., Bionic Commando Rearmed 2, Bioshock, Bioshock 2, Bioshock Infinite, Borderlands, Bound by Flame, D-Blob 2, Dead Rising 2, Case 0, Dig Dug, Final Fight Double Impact, Sega Vintage Collection Golden Axe, Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising, Pac-Man Collector's Edition DX Plus, Sacred 3, Soul Calibur, and XCOM Enemy Within. And all of those will be available on the service until through May, and then they will be gone.
Yeah, you lose them the 31st. Remember, anything on Games Pass you can always pick up for a 20% discount while it's on Games Pass.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just in love with any of these, I mean, now is the time to actually buy it. But just keep in mind, it does not work like Games with Gold or PS Plus. Just because you have it downloaded does not mean it will continue to work. Because it's in one of those situations. Yeah, you have to buy it before it goes away if you want to keep playing it.
Yep.
So, PSA. What are your thoughts on the Neo Geo?
It had some good stuff on it. Very Japanese.
Okay. What if I could make it into a very small, tiny baby arcade?
Mm-hmm.
Put 40 games on it and sell it to you now.
I'm not sure I'd be interested in that.
Well, that's exactly what we've done here. It looks like a classic Neo Geo, I guess. The controller looks sort of right. The buttons are not quite right. Mm-hmm. And when I first saw this, I thought, I don't think I like that design. And then I realized just how tiny this thing is.
Yes.
It's got a 3.5-inch screen on it. It is little.
Super little.
It's a little baby Neo Geo.
Like, it's littler than the little one-game arcade things, mini arcades you used to find in, Walmarts way back when.
It's tiny.
It's super tiny.
But it's loaded with 40 games and it has HDMI out. So don't fret. You will be able to play this thing on a television.
But you can also take it with you and play on that tiny baby screen.
Yeah, in traffic or in a board meeting.
Right.
During surgery. Lots of different applications to have this tiny Neo Geo with you. Also, a good time to explain to people what a Neo Geo is. So that'll be fun. While they didn't they didn't give a full list of the games included, the artwork on the side of the tiny baby Neo Geo shows Metal Slug, Samurai Showdown 2, and the King of Fighters 97, suggesting that they will obviously be in the game because it would be weird for them to put art for something that's not in there on the side of this thing.
Neo Geo is very big on Japanese fighting games, so
they make good fighting games.
They do. Expect a lot of those.
2018 marks the 40th anniversary of SNK. So in addition to the Neo Geo Mini, the company is also releasing the SNK 40th Anniversary Collector's Collection on the Nintendo Switch this fall. Collection is being handled by Digital Eclipse. So, I mean, if for some reason you're like, I don't want them on this baby tiny screen, I want them on another baby tiny screen, just hold off for the Switch version. Yeah.
Just wait. They're coming.
Just wait. You like that?
Mm-mm.
It's my Just Wait song.
You just made that up.
Yeah. Singer-songwriter on that one.
You certainly are, my friend. You certainly are.
Nailed
it.
The Mini Neo Geo, they call it the Neo Geo Mini, but I like it better my way, will release in 2 colors. In Japan, the system will be black and white and red. I don't like the way that they said that. Black, white, and red. I don't like the way I said it. They said it fine. But the international version will sport a more modern black, white, and blue. So black, white, and red obviously screams old school, and black, white, and blue clearly more modern.
Is modern.
I don't know what this means. I don't know what any of this means.
Me either.
It's small. It'll probably cost too much. You're not going to buy it.
True.
On to a story about GameStop.
Get this. We talked last week, or a few weeks ago, about how, maybe it was longer than that, but their old CEO passed away.
Paul Raines.
So they got a new CEO about 3 months ago, Michael Mahler. Was a longtime executive. He was named the new CEO, and now 3 months later, he has quit.
Boom, 56 years old, walked out.
For personal reasons.
Effective immediately.
Yep, just walked.
Yeah, personal reasons. A.K.A. I don't want to do this.
A lot of speculation that GameStop's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And now that the CEO knows it, he decided to jump ship and hashtag GTFO.
You spend a lot of time trying to peek behind the curtain, but sometimes when you finally get to, you don't like what you see.
No.
And sometimes when you're like, my reputation's on the line here, probably won't ride this one out.
Mm-hmm.
CEO of a company that's failing and not a good look.
Nope.
So he has left. He's walked out. Dan DiMatteo, I think is how you say that.
Yes.
Who was co-founder, has now stepped into the role of CEO once again. He was doing it while Paul Raines was out sick. And he released a statement saying, given my tenure and familiarity with the company and our associates, it's natural to step in for me to step in and assume the role and guide the business at this time as the board searches for a permanent replacement. And then he drops this too. I'm happy to have Rob Lloyd, our CFO, and his 22 years of experience with GameStop alongside me as we work towards executing against our 2018 objectives. Like, hey, just because someone had been here a long time left doesn't mean everyone that is.
Right.
Look at this guy, 22 years. Still here.
So
Lloyd, get out.
Nobody knows really why. It could very well be for personal reasons. He could have something happen. He could just not want to work anymore. It could be that, but the speculation is that there's some GameStop is in some serious trouble. Yep. That is not verified, but that is the speculation.
Speculation. It's weird when I whispered it.
It's always weird when you whisper. It's fine.
Speculation.
Speculation.
That's a weird word if you say it real soft.
Speculation.
Yeah. It sounds like there's more going on than's really going on.
Speculation.
There's a little speculation.
Let's stop it. It's creepy.
Damn.
Next story.
What are 2 things you love?
Speculation and
Fortnite and baseball. You nailed it.
Yeah, dude.
You nailed it.
I love.
You nailed it. Do you know David Price?
I do.
Of Boston Red Sox fame.
I do know who he is. I know he's a killer pitcher.
One of the best and highest paid pitchers, as a matter of fact. He's in a little bit of Fortnite drama right now.
This whole story's bullshit.
He signed a $217 million contract in 2015, and he also happens to play a lot of Fortnite. And here's the thing. He's suffering from minor carpal tunnel syndrome. Mm-hmm. He missed a couple starts because of it. Mm-hmm. Because of his declared love for Fortnite, now people are asking if Fortnite is to blame.
Right, but video games are the cause. Let me tell you something. Every baseball pitcher out there has missed games because of minor carpal tunnel syndrome. I don't care if you're the best. I don't care if you're the highest paid. I don't care if you're the worst and you're the shittiest paid. It's happened. It happens all the time. It's a common injury for baseball pitchers.
There's been so much hullabaloo. That's what this story says, which I appreciate their use of that.
Oh, right, because they're calling bullshit too.
About Price's gaming habits and Fortnite in particular, that Price has now come forward, and this is maybe my favorite part of this whole thing. He's now come forward and said he's not going to play Fortnite when he's at the ballpark.
Right.
So here's the thing with the story. I'm like, he doesn't have carpal tunnel because of Fortnite, but then I'm like, maybe he does. he's just said he won't play it there. That's how much he's playing it. But
on his phone in the dugout.
Right. This was also the first installment of Who Gives a Shit.
Yes, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Who cares? Next story.
I love it.
Trust me, it was a toss-up between that one and this next one. Nintendo has released an adjustable charging stand, or will have announced an adjustable charging stand. The biggest brain fart of the Switch is that they put the charging port on the bottom, which is how it sits up when it's on the kickstand.
Right.
Meaning you can't charge it and also have it in tabletop mode. They have released a dock, which does not have an HDMI out, also confusing, that lets you rest it on there and then moves the plug from the bottom to the side, allowing you to play in tabletop mode for longer. Maybe this was the plan the whole time so they could sell something. I'm sure the real estate inside the Switch was such that they had to put it where they had to put it. This does seem to solve the problem, but it is going to cost you $20. And remember, this is not a dock. This is a adjustable charging stand. Yes. No HDMI out here.
Nope.
But it's okay. It's all right. I don't play in tabletop mode often, so.
The other story is definitely this week's Who Gives a Shit. The carpal tunnel.
Yeah, that's why I put it on here. I thought it'd be fun.
Fortnite.
I wanted to see if you would immediately pick up on it or if you would attempt to talk about it.
I had an idea that
that story's real. I wish that story was made up. That story is 100% true.
After I read through the stories, I was like, I'm pretty sure this one's the Who Gives a Shit.
I found that story on multiple sites.
Oh, it's everywhere.
Yeah. So there are a lot of stories about the MLB epidemic of Fortnite. But this one was extra juicy because it was calling him out by name.
Yes.
And I love that he said
voiding his contract by playing video games or whatever.
I love that he said, I'm not going to play it when I'm there. What a workaround.
So I'll practice and watch my teammates.
I immediately went to that he's playing on his phone in the dugout.
Yeah, I know. That's where I went to.
Hey, Dave, you're up. What?
Well,
I
can't. Hold on.
There's only 12 left alive.
Hold on. There's still 2 of us.
All right, I've got pump action, full shield, and 100 health. Anybody else go? I'm in a pretty good spot to win this one, I think. Who gives a shit? Play your games, David Price. You got your money.
You do what you want. Yeah.
Nobody puts David Price in the corner. Play your games.
That's right. We've had the time of our life.
It's fine. I won't play it while I'm actually playing baseball. He's got it in his glove while he's on the field. I love that. Who gives a shit? Suck it, MLB and fans. Now it's time for my newest favorite, oldest segment, Gone But Not Forgotten, where we reach back in our gaming past. We tell you about something we love. I usually pick really good games. And this week it's Stan's turn.
Every week Ryan's pick is usually my Who Gives a Shit.
Except for last week.
No, last week included. This week, I'm sure this is going to be one of Ryan's who gives.
No, I already don't give a shit about it. I can't wait. I don't even know what it is. So, for those that don't know, it is always a surprise to us. We don't see the game the other person picks.
No, so it's always a surprise. But this
Jim,
so not going to like this. This game released on March 26, 2002 for Windows, OS X, GameCube, and Xbox. It actually came out in November of 2002. And that game is Star Wars Jedi Knight 2.
Great.
Jedi Outcast. Actually, if you're a Star Wars fan, this came out about a year before KOTOR. And if you enjoyed Star Wars, were a Star Wars fan, this was the defining experience before KOTOR. This and KOTOR are the two best rated games for Star Wars games. You play as Kyle Katarn, who you'll remember from Shadows of the Empire on the Nintendo 64, which was also one I almost picked. But the whole story is that behind Kyle is that he's a Jedi who started to get baited by the dark side, and so he gave up his Jedi powers. He's become kind of a mercenary. Well, in this game, this is a first or third person game, action adventure game. And this is the first game that really brought to the player what force abilities and lightsaber combat could be. It's really, really phenomenal in this game. It obviously got better over time with KOTOR, KOTOR 2, the MMO, Knights of the Old Republic. But this was the game that you really felt that. It was the first time that you felt like a Jedi. Story's interesting. It's got some cool cameos. Spoiler alert: 16 years. Lando Calrissian's in it.
Jar Jar is not.
Skywalker's in it. Jar Jar is not. But the graphics don't hold up great. But the gameplay is still good. The way the game plays is still good. The way it looks is shit because it came out on the Xbox and the GameCube. If that's any indication, it did have a multiplayer mode on computer Windows, but did not have one on the systems, on the consoles. Just didn't have the power to do that. A lot of people up in arms about that. They really liked the multiplayer mode, and it gave you a combination of light, dark, and neutral powers. Particularly if you're a Star Wars fan, I know Solo's coming out pretty soon. That's one of the reasons I picked this game. This is for the Star Wars fans out there who might be excited for Solo. Maybe give Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 a look. Maybe give a shot at playing it if you can find it. It is available on Steam. But it's one of the... It's a Star Wars game without the characters you're so used to. They only fill in as cameos. So I think if you're kind of like what Solo's doing, it's got a brand new actor playing Han Solo. So it's kind of similar in that vein. So if all those things are for you, then I definitely suggest that you check out Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast.
I actually have that game on Xbox.
Do you? Did you play it?
Briefly.
You're not a big Star Wars guy. So
not a big Star Wars guy, and I did get it early enough on in my Xbox collection as I was scooping up things I thought would be valuable one day. I was still trying to play everything that I bought, so I did play it for 30 or 40 minutes. Then it went in the case, and the case went in the box. The box went in another box.
And there it stayed, yep.
Right. Locked away forever.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to play. Like I said, it was the Force powers that really brought it to the forefront. It really made you feel like a Jedi for the first time. So that's the biggest reason to check it out. And that's this week's Gone But Not Forgotten. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, 2002, LucasArts.
Remember, if you have a Gone But Not Forgotten for us, hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag GBNF at @game_stitch, and we'll read it on this very show.
Indeed.
But if that's not enough voice for you, you can also head over to patreon.com/GameStitch. Support us at the $10 tier or higher, and you get your very own shout-out in the shout-out section. So, to recap, if you send in a Gone But Not Forgotten and you're at the $10 tier, you could have back-to-back sections.
True.
You could 2 segments you could be a part of.
You could be what we like to call super involved.
But it is what we call that. And this week we have 2 shout-outs, one from Thomas, one from Garrett. Now, I don't have one for Thomas.
I don't either.
So here, I'll take the reins on this.
Okay, because you spent more time with him on Rocket
Played with him a
League
couple
than I did,
times,
so,
texted
yeah.
him a couple times. So
Yep.
first and foremost, I want to congratulate him for his first victory, his chicken dinner on PUBG Mobile.
Woohoo! You go, buddy.
And also, I'm going to make his shout-out a request. He wants to get 4 of us together to play PUBG Mobile squads and see if we can bring home a win together. So, in some shape, form, or fashion, we will be able to do this. Now, I know that you're not playing it.
I said I wasn't going to, but I've actually looked. I've been on the page and almost downloaded on my phone. I was like, yeah.
Somehow, we will get 4 people. I know I'm playing it. Gerald's playing it. Howard's playing it. Dan will eventually play it.
It's free, right?
Yeah, it's free. We'll get it together somehow. We'll get a squad together, and we will keep everyone involved. He also recorded his gameplay for me and sent me a short video. And his bush game was strong, which I appreciate.
Oh yeah.
So that was fun.
So how you live your life in the bush.
So let's team up in squads, and congrats on your mobile chicken dinner.
That's right. Congratulations to you, Thomas. And Garrett enjoys Ryan's insights, and apparently his.
So there was a little more to this that I snipped out. I had a shit week last week. He sent us that message. I thanked him for sending that message. And he said he was glad he could help, and then went into this. For a little context.
Yes. He said, when life gives you lemons, leg sweep it and take its apples. Hashtag Ryan Walton problem solving. Hashtag long hashtag. Now, if you don't remember, that is something that Ryan actually said on this podcast last week.
So for months, I've been talking about leg sweeping things.
Yes.
And I also expressed my my legitimate, what's the word I want to use here?
I don't know. Get it right though.
I know. I want to be correct.
Don't fuck it up.
My childlike, baby childlike knowledge of Twitter.
Yes.
In the workings, and my desire to make hashtags on the point, like on the nose. Like, check out my live stream, hashtag Ryan plays PS4.
Right. Don't be an asshole. Hashtag don't be an asshole.
Right. Stop being a dick, hashtag anti-dick. So Garrett, he picked up both those balls, tucked them under each arm, and ran with them, which I appreciate. And also, I like the leg sweep call out. If I could bring that to the nation.
Yeah, that was when life gives you lemons, leg sweep and take its apples.
It sounds like something you would say minus the leg sweep part.
It does. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, to be honest with you.
That's what makes it so good.
That's about right, yeah.
That's what makes it so good.
That's about right.
Because you don't want his fucking lemons, okay? You want his apples.
Yeah, right. You want the apples.
You take what you want is that's the point of this.
I don't know. Can you actually leg sweep lemons? Is that a thing?
Well, in life. You're leg sweeping life.
Oh, gotcha. Does life have legs?
Mm-hmm. And you can sweep them.
If we're getting literal now.
Yeah, and you leg sweep them right out from underneath them.
Gotcha.
This is just a metaphor for taking what you want.
Yeah.
Life's like, here's lemons. You're like, fuck you. I'll take the apples.
Which, to be fair, taking what you want is not an acceptable strategy of getting through life. That's not how that works. It sounds cool. I get it.
You take what you want.
Yeah, no, that could cause issues.
Life owes it to you. You take it. You've had it harder than anyone else.
All right, don't say I didn't warn you.
You've had a harder life than anyone else. You take what you want.
You're a grown-up.
It's owed to you.
You can make choices for yourself. I warned you. I've given you advice, And Ryan has given you advice. Now you do what you want.
Everyone's had a silver spoon except for you. You take what you want out of life. Full disclosure, it's all a joke. Don't be a dickhead. You can follow us on social media, kinda. I'm on there, but I don't use it. I'm at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Shirtless Dan. Together we are at Game Understitch. That's something different. Spinoff podcast. We're at Game underscore Stitch. Game Understitch sounds like something else. Doesn't even sound like a thing.
It's almost like GameStitch After Dark. It's real similar. GameStitch Underground.
I'll say what Howard said yesterday. Words are hard. Speaking's hard.
I've heard that sounds like something Howard would say.
Yeah, I called him out on something last night, and he said, words are hard.
I can totally hear him in my earphones saying that.
Yeah. So at Game underscore Stitch, if you want to hit us up on the main handle there. Be sure to check out our YouTube, youtube.com/GameStitch. Dan's God of War stream. Howard and I's stream for Super Mega Baseball 2 is up. And if you want to follow us on there, make sure you hit that notifications bell so you know every time we go live. Subscribe, like, share, you know what I'm saying? Also, twitch.tv/GameStitch. If I do Xbox streams, that's where those live. If you want to catch them live, so also hit the follow button over there so you know when we go live. I think you have to heart over there in order to know when we go live, which is the same as follow, I believe. Heart. Notification bell on YouTube, heart on Twitch.
Yes.
So you know when we go live. But all videos will live on YouTube after the fact. So you can just watch them back over there. Also, someone was in the chat, or maybe two people were in the chat last night. I need to apologize. It was midnight. I didn't have the chat pulled up. I'm so used to the PS4 reading the comments to me, which reminds me to look at the chat.
Right.
I didn't have the chat pulled up, and I saw that someone was in the chat. So, my bad. I didn't see who it was. When I clicked off of it, it briefly showed me the chat before closing out. It looked like there were two people in the chat, and I totally did not see or read the comments even after the fact because it closed out immediately.
Not cool, brother man.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
That's what we got going on over at GS HQ.
I say I'm the guy who like signs autographs and like interacts with the crowd, and Ryan's a standoffish, just leave me alone guy, obviously.
So if there was a meet and greet, you think you would be more active with the community than I would be? Because you're saying this, but I'm wondering.
I think so.
I'm wondering if it came down to it.
I think I would be more engaging with them than you would. I would be more likely to actually carry on a conversation with them. He'd be like, "Hey, what's up? Yeah, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out."
Because I would be playing Fortnite.
Right. I didn't say it was a bad thing. That's just what I think.
I got to get Tommy John surgery now. Because I've been playing so much of it. Probably going to be out for a while.
But you asked, I answered.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you're right because we've not done a large scale meet and greet like that.
Oh, we have not. But I think I would be more conversational and you would be more to the point.
Yeah, I'm not.
Which oddly is in real life we're probably the opposite. But I think in that situation, that's how it would be.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I try to keep the eye on the prize with things like that. I think probably.
Mm-hmm. You'd be much more worried about keeping it professional than I would.
Keeping the time right. Yeah, definitely keeping it more professional. Staying on track.
Yeah, I would.
Which is weird because I live pretty reckless most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Or I would just let whoever I was speaking with, guide the conversation.
Right. Yeah, I keep it. I do keep it pretty PC. But I will say in my normal life, I have shifted pretty PC. I just don't need the drama.
No, I have too, and I wouldn't be outraged. I would be outrageous. I would just be more likely to. You would be much more structured in your conversation.
But I have.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, we appreciate having you here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying you would be rude.
Next. No. I mean, I understand what you're saying. It probably would be that way. But I have definitely. I mean, you can go back and listen to the show, and you can see the shift start to happen, where I become more PC. And it's not just about the podcast. Like I said, it is spilled over into real life. But
as you get older, yes.
Yeah. If I could avoid conflict by not being a douchebag, I'd like to do that.
I've definitely become more PC, but I am probably not as PC as you are.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do it so that I'm politically correct. I do it because I just don't need the extra.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, most people this day and age are little bitches. And I don't mean that.
Snowflakes, I think they're called.
Yeah, I don't mean that in an offensive way. No offense to lady dogs. But they get their feelings hurt so easy.
So easily.
That if I can just avoid the things that hurt their feelings, it doesn't take any more work from me. It's not as if I'm not putting a lot of effort into this. I'm just not always saying the first thing that comes to mind.
Right.
Which I pretty much wasn't doing anyway because it would offend most everyone.
Right.
I'm very equal opportunity in my head.
Whereas, and in some cases, a lot of times it depends on the day because I'm like that some days, but other days I'm just in a place and I'm like, I got enough friends I don't need anymore. Douchebag, get out of here.
I'm a smart ass in my head 99.9% of the time.
Yeah. And the difference with me is probably 25% of the time I actually say what's in my head.
Yeah, I say it like 3% of the time. Because in my head, a lot of times I know that it's rude. Like you wouldn't say that to someone else. But
I also have been informed by. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to say where it is. But I have been informed that I have this way of politically correctly, and not in a rude manner, letting people know that they're stupid.
Right. Now, when I say something smart, people usually laugh and they think I'm joking, and that's fine. But I find it easier just not to say the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've definitely worked on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people tell. Here's the weird thing: as I get older, people tell jokes now that 10 years ago I would have laughed at, and I cringe now.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, don't say it out loud.
You know what? There's some. It's funny because there's a lot of movies that are like that because they were made in a different time and place.
Mm-hmm.
Even a lot of the movies from the 80s, where you look back on them now, and I understand they were from the time and place, and I enjoyed them in that time and place when I was that age, and in that time. But like Pretty in Pink, that movie, or is it Pretty in Pink? Yeah, Pretty in Pink is an incredible. No, not Pretty in Pink. What's the other? 16 Candles. John Hughes, classic movie, is incredibly offensive, incredibly. But it wasn't a thing then. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It would never play today.
Right. Yeah. See,
Revenge of the Nerds is probably the most misogynistic movie you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah, I'm not saying those things don't have a place. They don't have a place for me as much anymore. Mm-hmm. I just, when I see or hear things, I'm like, ooh, don't just. Like the biggest favor you could do yourself is to not say everything you think.
I agree with that.
And I hear people all the time that are like, no one's going to silence me. It's not about that.
It's just about being decent.
Your life could be better if you would just silence yourself.
And sometimes, I'll be the first to admit, there are times where I don't want to be, where I'm not worried about all that and I just say it.
Yeah,
it's not very often. And it's never incredibly offensive. It's not like an offensive thing. It's just me being an asshole to somebody.
And I don't think you have to do it all the time, but I think you definitely should pick your battles in life.
Yeah.
So that's PSA number 2. The first one are for children 0 to 10. The second one is for everyone.
I don't think it's 0 to 10.
0 to 10.
I think it's more like 4 to 13.
0 to 10 on the first one. The second one for everybody.
4 to 13.
This has been episode 278. Thanks for letting us serve you. It's like a restaurant.
And I got it.
Okay. Like we brought them sweet tea and appetizer maybe.
But we didn't. We're a podcast.
And we slammed this right in their ears when they weren't looking.
It's not how restaurants work, but okay.
278.
If you had a restaurant, you don't want things slammed in your ear. I promise.
You and I looking for different things in life.
Here's your bread.
Yeah. Like a thin breadstick right in the ear. Yeah. Like Fazoli's soft breadsticks right in the ear. Also, PSA for stuff Fazoli's. I'll let you know if I need breadsticks. Calm down. Just walk around with them. I'll flag you down.
Oh, because they come by, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And they ask you every time?
So there's like a bread person that just walks around with a bouquet of bread. I'm fine with that.
I know.
I don't have a problem with a bouquet of bread. What I have a problem with is like, oh, would you like bread? I'm like, no, I'm all good up on bread. Thank you for asking. 15 seconds later, that same person's like, hey, you want some bread? No, I'm finished eating now. I won't have the bread. Thank you, though.
I'm still good.
3 minutes later, same person. Would you like some bread? Look, you can shove that bread up your ass, okay? I don't want the bread.
Well, let me tell you what I've noticed over the course of the last year. Taco Bell's starting to piss me off.
I can't ride with whatever you're about to say, just so you know.
And I'll tell you why. At least it might just either be the Taco Bell I go to. I don't know. But over the course of the last year, I promise you, I am getting less and less meat and more lettuce.
Yeah, that's your Taco Bell. That's a bad Taco Bell.
So I got to go to a different Taco Bell.
Yeah, I think so, because I haven't noticed that change, and I would definitely notice it.
Because I literally scoop like 2 handfuls of lettuce off my taco.
Now, how often do you eat at Taco Bell?
Once a week?
Okay.
Twice a week sometimes?
Because I was going to say, maybe it's happening here, but it's like when you're with somebody, you don't notice that they're like taller or shorter or fatter or whatever.
Yeah, it could be.
But maybe I was having it but you're having it about the same I am, so it wouldn't be that.
So my advice to you, if you go to Taco Bell now, is only get a quesadilla or a burrito. Don't get a taco or a...
You got to get that $5 Chalupa Cravings box. That's where the value's at.
It's not, though, because mine's all fucking lettuce.
Yeah, you need to tell them that you ordered a chalupa, not a salad. Make it again. And
so they're starting to piss. Yeah, but I don't. Then I got to take the time to go in, and I don't have time for that.
Now I will say, I went to Taco Bell yesterday and got the $5 Cravings Chalupa box. Mm-hmm. Everything went according to plan.
I like the new. They have another one too.
The triple melt.
Yes,
that's gone, and now they have the naked chicken taco that's like spicy.
Oh,
yeah, it pissed me off. Anyways, so I get the Chalupa box. And sometimes mine has the box, sometimes they don't. When they have the box, they just give you the box.
I know, I hate that.
Here's a little etiquette if you work at the Bell.
Give me a fucking bag?
Yeah, but let's say that's out the window. Put the sauce in the box.
Oh, yeah.
The psychopath yesterday handed me a box with a pile of sauce on top of it and a straw shoved in that pile. As if I knew, what am I going to do with this? I have to drive somewhere.
But your napkins were inside, right?
No, the napkins were under the sauce, too.
Oh my God!
So they put the napkins down, pile of sauce,
wrong.
and then like planted a flag with my straw into the pile of fire sauce. Like I have to drive down the road with this thing.
There's gonna be
sauce everywhere. Yeah,
going all over the place.
Napkins getting sucked out the window. Sauce packets everywhere. Put it inside the box. Everything in there is wrapped. It's okay. Put it in the box, or put that in a small bag. You have the tiny bags that those cinnamon balls come in the morning? Put them in there.
Or the churros?
Like cinnamon balls. Yeah, you have those bags too, but for breakfast they have these like cinnamon coated sugar testicles that they serve.
I don't ever eat those. The only thing I eat are the bacon wraps.
Oh, those things are glorious. When you bite into them, they pop.
Oh, the buns? No. I don't want
those cinnamon sugar sweet balls.
The cinnamon things, yeah, not for me.
That's what they should call them, cinnamon sugar sweet balls. But when you put them in there, they pop and they're kind of warm and gooey. They're all right.
No, not for me. I just like the bacon wrap.
Episode 278, Sweet Balls.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. That's a pretty good name, too. And they are. Can we just pause for a second and they are hard.
Some of them.
Yeah. Okay, that's
some of them. All right.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place. Good night.
Good night.